Hey, welcome back to Hollow Point Defense. Now that the shots have been fired, police are on the scene, let's talk about what you need to do next. This is an important area that you need to learn now, way before the shooting starts, because this is not something you're going to learn overnight. It's going to take you a while to get used to it and divulge into it and learn it. When the police get there, are you going to talk to them or not? Get that straight today. Going forward, you need to know that answer today. If the answer is no, why? You getting a lawyer? You have one on retainer? That kind of stuff. You know yourself. Are you going to say something stupid? How's my grouping? I don't give a shit if he lives or dies. Fuck him. Those are things that are said that you don't need to be saying. Those will get put in a report, and it's not going to make you look like a guy in fear of his life. We'll use those terms. Justification is pretty much cut and dry. You'll be justified in breaking certain laws like aggravated assault, homicide, burglary, first, second degree, if you are what a reasonable person believes a serious physical injury or death. So that's a big range right there, depending on you, the type of person, who's coming after you. There's so many circumstances. I'm not getting into it here, but let's just go with that one. Are you going to talk to them? Lawyer up, not lawyer up, talk to them, don't say stupid stuff. So let's just go with you talking to them. Your statement is going to be extremely detailed. And I'll give you where I know a lot of people are laxing because I see it in my classes all the time. Your details are going to be who, what, when, where, why, and how. And you and that person, you need to describe everything to a T. And we'll get into some of that. And there's too much to cover in here because I only want to spend about 5 to 7 minutes on this. But it's an important deal for you that you can go research and dig more into it. When they come up, you want to describe everything to a T. What's the time of day? Night? Daytime? Dark? Lighted? Dimly lit? Those are just some of the things that you want to make sure that you talk about. When you describe your bad guy, the guy threatening you, describe it to a T. Don't make it up, but describe it to a T. When he's talking to you and he's yelling at you or screaming at you, is spit or saliva coming out of his mouth? Because when people get angry and talk like that, that kind of stuff starts flying. You want to describe that because they're going to put that in a report and it's going to help your justification look a lot better. Versus, he threatened to kill me, so I shot him. I was in fear of my life, but you didn't say why. The other way, the guy was flailing his arms, telling me he's going to rob me and shoot me in the head. He reached behind his back while he was yelling at me. Spit was coming out of his mouth. Eyes were wide open. Looked like it was, I was looking through a hole to his soul. That kind of stuff. If that's what you saw and what you believe, that's what you want to tell them because your justification is going to look better. So you want to tell them the details like that. Like I said, the time of day, what he's doing, word for word what he says. If he says he's going to fucking kill you and rape your wife, you need to say it just like that. Those are important deals because it's not just his words, his actions too. Describe his actions to a T. If he's threatening you that way with a gun and starts to reach behind his back or in a jacket pocket or somewhere where a gun could be kept or would be kept, what would a reasonable person believe? Go off of that. When you're describing this stuff to the police, but at some point you heard some bystander over here go, well, I didn't see that, or I saw this, or I saw this. Remember, your point of view is going to be different than somebody else's. Whether they're standing next to you, behind you, beside you, their point of view is going to be different. They're seeing from a slightly different angle or a very big different angle. They could have something in their way that doesn't see something you saw. And that's important. And when the shots are fired too, if the guy did have a weapon of some sort, take note of it. When things are chaotic, some things disappear. He could have friends there, or somebody just wants it for whatever reasons. Things disappear. You need to be aware of that. And when you are in this, look around. It's not just because if you see one bad guy, look for two. I agree with that, but you need to look around. Is anybody else hurt? Did your shots all connect where they should be? Or did you hit somebody else? You need to pay attention to that. Plus witnesses. Especially in shootings, people don't always come forward. Some will, but not all of them. Some of them will go, ooh, I don't want to be in that mess. and they'll stay away from it. But if you're looking around and you recognize certain people and the cops get there and they're still there, point them out. Hey, that group or that guy or that gal or that kid or whoever was there, they're more apt, they'll go talk to them. Those people are more apt to come forward versus them coming forward without you telling them. So there's so many things you need to look at when you do your statement. And I know I'm jumping around here, but there's a lot of info here. Again, your statement needs to be thought out today. How you're going to do it, your game plan starts today, not when the shooting happens. When the shooting happens, it's too late for learning, it's time for action. So kind of remember that. Let's go over this real quick. You need to figure out today if you're going to talk to the police or not. You need to figure out today if you're going to get a lawyer or do it on your own. There's different ways you can do that. You need to figure out, do you know how to describe a situation to a T? I'll tell you an easy way to do it. Go watch something on YouTube, some shooting. Turn it off. I don't care if you watch it 3 or 4 times. Turn it off. Go get a piece of paper and start describing it. I don't care if you make up the times or whatever, but describe what you see in that video, the sounds, put it in there, and then see how well you describe it. That's important, because when these reports are written by the police, they are not justifying you. They're only doing recommendations of charges or not. That report goes to the county attorney, and those county attorneys, unless you're rich and have a lot of money, aren't coming out to your shooting. They're going to get the report, they're going to read it, whether it's 10 pages or 100 pages, and they're going to base that decision and justification on what they read. If there's any video, they'll watch that and put that together too. It's another thing, no cameras around there, that way you can tell the cops, and it just helps back up your story. So when they read, the county attorney reads that report, you want all the information you can put in there. And I'm going to tell you one thing that you should not do. If you hear somebody else saying something, and you're like, I don't remember that, but yeah, maybe I did. Don't put in what you didn't see. Because when it comes down to it, if it's pushed and you go, well, I didn't see that, I heard that. Now your story is going to get looked at like, what else did you see or not see? It kind of convolutes your justification to where it's going to make it a little bit harder. Not impossible, but harder. So don't do that to yourself. You tell them what you saw. Under stress, you're going to see things that your brain ain't going to recognize because you're going to have that tunnel vision. That's why I say as soon as the shots are fired, get out of that tunnel vision, look around, break it. Look, pay attention, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And I will tell you this, when you are explaining your statement, one thing I didn't say, and I saved it for right here, is in detail, explain to the police how you tried to avoid it. That will go a long way in showing you tried to avoid it, and this guy crossed the line. Not that he just crossed the line, that he crossed it so much that you were trying to avoid it. I don't care if you took 10 steps backwards, 5 steps backward, or you tried to do something else. You need to explain that you tried to avoid it. The best gunfight you're ever going to win is the one you avoid. And I'm going to tell you this because it happened over this past weekend on January 30th. If you see an incident and it doesn't involve you, think wisely, common sense. Your training, your knowledge should dictate what you need to do. It's better off being a good witness and let the police do their job and let those people handle it